Who's watching?
Hello!
We're going to cover the uncoverable topic according to most YouTube channels. I have never seen a Doctor Who YouTube channel actually do it. Everyone shies away from it, even lists on other websites. Everyone seems to be afraid of Big Finish.
Yep.
Don't fear Big Finish.
No.
Embrace it.
Yes, they're lovely.
Welcome to Who's Watching's introduction to Big Finish.
Yes.
Audio. So, do you want your introduction to how you got into it? Mine's less exciting.
I think I was flicking through an issue, one of my first issues of Doctor Who magazine, which I think is, I don't know what issue it is, it's the one with the Doctor and Martha and they're surrounded by scarecrows on the cover. It was sort of at that time. And there was a thingy for an audiobook called Circular Time with Peter Davidson and Sarah Sutton as Nyssa.
I'm going to find out the name of the first one I watched. Listen to.
And it's like an anthology one, each story is different. And it goes over the seasons, so you've got spring, summer, autumn, winter. And I just loved the autumn and winter stories. Autumn was about sort of Nyssa falling in love, am I going to leave the Doctor, am I not, but then...
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
I know the
and
story,
then I think the guy kind of thinks she's a little bit crazy, because she's, I come from Traken, so he finds a road in England called Traken Road or something like that, thinking she comes from there, and then she's like, no, what have you done? Why have you brought me here? This isn't what I mean. And then winter is all about when the Doctor's dying in Caves of Androzani and he's lying on the TARDIS floor. You know, in his regeneration you get all the faces that pop up.
You don't
he's actually he's actually gone into sort of a world in his mind where he's reached out to all his companions that he's had in this incarnation, and they're all trying to help him, trying to push his brain into regenerating, kind of like Peter Capaldi and things like that, where he has to have a bit of a push
you've got
to do it. Yeah. And I mean, you've got characters there like Chameleon and things like that that were only ever in 2 stories, that are all trying to help him. And I mean, I just fell in love with it from then, and I can't remember what my second one was. It might have been...
But it was through the magazine you got.
Yeah.
My story is slightly less exciting. This guy nagged me. He kept telling me to listen to Big Finish, and then I just sort of saw one on Audible. No More Lies. It's a Paul McGann story.
Yeah.
It's
all right, isn't it? It's
a bit bonkers.
Yeah. Is that the one where they're in the house at a garden party or something?
Yes,
isn't it?
they're at a garden party.
Velociraptors, or not velociraptors, pterodactyls or something.
Oh, they're vortisaurs.
Oh, vortisaurs, yeah.
It's like pterodactyls that live in the time vortex.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things very much where you probably need to listen to more Big Finish before you jump into that one, because it's a bit bonkers.
Yeah.
But Big Finish is a big, vast array of novels, which I think is why some people find it so intimidating.
Yeah.
So in this introduction video, we're going to tell you what we think is the best way to start
it. Yeah.
Now, I did what I will very strongly recommend you do not do, which is go from the first one and try and work your way through.
Yeah.
Because it's not always going to be the same Doctor next, and it will get a bit confusing to follow the timelines. So I think we both agree on this, the best way to do it, pick a Doctor.
Yeah, whichever one your favourite Doctor is. I mean, even now, they've got up to the David Tennant ones now.
Yeah, David Tennant.
Christopher Eccleston, there's a few here and there, but not with Christopher Eccleston in. But you've got sort of cast members who were in it. So yeah, just pick your favourite Doctor from 1 to 10. And you're pretty much guaranteed sort of a full cast audio thing, and just jump in and just go through their stories.
If you type in on Google, you can find out the chronological order of them. But what I've done, personally for me, is I went, right, 6th Doctor, and I've been going from the beginning of Big Finish. A lot of them, if you've got Spotify, the first...
they've got the first 50, haven't they?
Yeah, 50 Big Finish productions, and a few after that, are all on Spotify. So it won't cost you a penny extra than your subscription already does. But I've just started with the Sixth Doctor, started from the beginning of his, and I've been going along. And it's the stories are a bit hit and miss. I'm not going to lie.
I think they are in some of the earlier years. They were a lot.
Further in the better they get. But I've been I think the Sixth Doctor is a great place to start because a lot of territory that he wanted to do when he was in the TARDIS, but unfortunately he got unceremoniously booted.
Yeah, Big Finish sort of let him do, haven't they?
Big Finish let him do what he was meant to do originally, and it's brilliant. Also, one of my favourite companions introduced is for Sixth Doctor, which is Dr. Evelyn Smythe.
Oh, I love Evelyn.
She's a brilliant character, and she's purely in the Big Finish audios.
Yeah.
So my personal recommendation would be to start with number 6.
Yeah.
But as we said, pick your favourite and just
I started with Peter Davidson, and I think I listened to. I think before I'd even started listening to some of the other ones, I'd listened to Peter Davidson's Circular Time, Spare Parts, Mind's Eye, Son of the Dragon. It was literally just any Peter Davidson audio they had. I listened to, and then from there on in, I think Colin Baker was probably my next one, and then Sylvester McCoy. I think it took me a while to get to Paul McGann, to get sort of listening to some of Paul McGann's ones, because Paul McGann, unless you're going to listen to the series is with Lucy Miller, with Sheridan Smith as Lucy, Paul McGann, it gets a little bit confusing. You get the introduction of Charlie in Storm Warning, and then it kind of does this thing where she was supposed to die, but because she didn't, the fabric of the universe is falling apart. And then they end up going into something called the Divergent Universe, which is where they meet his other companion, Keres. And then they come out of the Divergent Universe.
Bad knockoff Hunger Games films then.
Yeah. And then they go in, and then they come out of the Divergent Universe, and then Keres leaves, and then Charlie leaves, and then I think chronologically it's then Lucy. But then you get things like Dark Eyes, Ravenous, Doom Coalition, Time War. You've got loads of different Paul McGann audios, and they're all kind of a bit up in the air, and Big Finish haven't really sorted themselves out with how all that fits in.
Yeah, I think
so. I think Paul McGann might be one that you go to when you're a little bit more.
With the rest of the classic Doctors, it doesn't really matter the order you do them in, because they're just like standalone stories.
Yeah.
With Colin Baker, you've got the introduction of Evelyn Smythe.
Yeah.
But again, it doesn't really matter going forward. You don't have to do them in order.
Yeah.
The danger with the Paul McGann is you kind of do. But then again, if you want to listen to his ones, I just say pick a companion.
Yeah.
Pick just any out of a hat. Pick one of his newer companions, and then just follow that story.
Yeah.
Progressive wise. Otherwise, yes, his can get a bit confusing.
Yeah.
Like I said about No More Lies. Yeah.
You kind of need to listen to some of the early Charlie ones to know what a Fortosaur is.
Paul
and things like that.
You need to do in order.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they don't really make sense. But the rest of them just jump in and out whenever you want.
If you want to do companions, there's a fantastic range called the Companion Chronicles, which are stories that are told solely from the companion's point of view. Some of them are brilliant. Some of them are really good, especially the 60s companions, the one that didn't really get a lot of development on television. They were just there to scream. They get a lot of good stories, especially the ones that weren't in it that much. They weren't in it for 8 years.
If you don't fancy tackling extras for the classic Doctors, because it's mostly classic Doctors, Doctor Who wise.
Yeah.
I think David Tennant's only done 4 stories.
He's done 3 sets.
Yeah.
With I think about 3 stories in each one.
They're good, but there aren't as many, so you might get through those quite quickly.
Yeah.
There are a collection of Torchwood and Class ones.
Yeah.
I've not listened to any of the Class ones, but the Torchwood
Class one was actually very good. Actually, I enjoyed the Class ones. Torchwood ones are brilliant. If you like Torchwood, they say they're not recommended for younger listeners, and they're not, because some of the language. I mean,
Torchwood's not recommended for younger listeners,
but I mean some of the language in.
If you were a fan of Torchwood, it's a great sort of way to get
because
Torchwood fix.
Not only have they carried on from Miracle Day, So you've got Aliens Among Us, and then you've got God Among Us, which is season 5 and 6, and I think the BBC have specifically said, yes, they're season 5 and season 6 of Torchwood.
Yeah. Russell T Davies
has confirmed it as well. So you've got the continuation of Torchwood proper, or you've got their main range, which is stories a bit like the Companion Chronicles, where you get 1 or 2 actors and characters in it from anywhere in Torchwood chronology.
And you've got classic Doctor Who monsters in some of these Torchwood stories.
The latest
one of the brilliant things about Big Finish is
monsters.
Classic and new monsters
Yeah.
aren't restricted.
Yeah.
So, for example, there was a Peter Davison story with the Weeping Angels.
Yeah. Which I haven't listened to, but apparently it's
Neither
quite
have I,
good.
but it's meant to be
supposed
quite good.
You've got Colin Baker with the Jadoon, Sylvester McCoy with the Sycorax, and Paul McGann with the Sontarans. I don't think he'd met the Sontarans by that point, when that one came out. It's kind of... but it's like the
Paul
modern
McGann had that
Sontarans.
because
Yeah.
he didn't realise one film.
And then I think you had the second set, you had the Fourth Doctor with the Vashta Narada, which I started, that one was quite good. I think Peter Davidson with the Rachnos, Colin Baker with the Carrier Knights,
Yeah, I knew about that one.
and the Seventh Doctor with something, and I can't remember what that one was. But no, you get quite a few, and then you've got Torchwood, they brought back the Fendal, you've got the Slitheen, you've got the giant maggots from John Pertwee's one, and the boss character, the computer that goes mad. And the last one is, I think it's got Reese in it, and it's got the Autons in it, the next one. Oh, and the Slitheen. They had the Slitheen one.
You already said Slitheen.
Oh, did I say Slitheen? Yeah, you've got the Auton one, that's the next one that's coming out. So you've got them.
Great.
Yeah, you've got the class ones, they were good. You've got lots of... Big Finish is quite good at taking little characters that were in one story. You've got, in Remembrance of the Daleks, you've got the science group that's sort of before Unit, the unit before Unit that are in that. Big Finish had given them a series that was successful.
They've also got a series for The Diary of River Song.
Oh, yeah.
And The Adventures of Ginny.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Jenny, yep.
If you want more Georgia Tennant.
Yep.
There you go.
She's got a box set.
She's got 2
the
box sets.
Paternoster gang, they've got a set that I've done a review for. That was brilliant.
Link in the description.
Yep. That was brilliant. That was really good. I wasn't expecting to enjoy that one as much as I did. And then, once you're into Big Finish, you're into the world of Big Finish, they also do box sets for, like, audio characters. So characters that you've only sort of heard in audio, but they were kind of successful enough to get about 3 or 4 box sets out of. Some of them are quite good as well. You've got, like, Graceless, Vienna, Charlie Pollard, she had a couple of sets. So you've got sort of sets like that that you can go and enjoy after you've listened to all their other ones. But no, I would definitely say pick a Doctor or a companion first and be like, right, okay, I'm going to stick with them. Because then sometimes you get multi-Doctor stories and you think, oh, you know, Peter Davison was quite good in that one. I'll go back and listen to a couple of Peter Davison ones or Sylvester McCoy ones, and then you sort of branch off into the other ones as well, and by that point you'll be so into it that you won't want to come back out again.
So yeah, to sum up, pick a Doctor. My personal suggestion is Colin Baker. I'm really enjoying his stories. I'm on
I was going to ask you which one
at the moment.
Oh, I really like Ish.
I must admit I haven't... There are some stories that take a little bit longer to get into.
Yeah, I think Ish is probably one of those. By the time it gets to the end, it's quite good. But that's quite a very clever concept, Ish.
The one before I went straight through.
Which one?
I can't remember what the one before was. I think it's the one before I just sort of demolish. Okay. There have been a few that I just think, I'll just stick on for a little bit. Yeah. Just one sitting, I've done the whole thing. The first one with Evelyn Smythe.
That's very good.
Queen Elizabeth II. I did it all in one sitting.
Yeah, that's a very good story, that one.
Who do you recommend starting with?
Either Colin Baker or Peter Davidson. I think Sylvester McCoy, again, the timeline's a little bit muddled, because as it goes on, I mean...
And you've got to listen to him roll his arms.
One of the earliest ones that you listen to, Colditz,
That's pretty good.
Was very good, but you're introduced to a character called Elizabeth Klein, who then, about 16 years later, when after the Doctor said goodbye to Ace and things, that you've got to listen to another series to hear that, as he's sort of coming to the end of that incarnation, like the TV movie, he's going, right, I've got all these threads that I've left sort of dangling, and one of them is Elizabeth Klein, because she can remember what happens in Coldis is she steals the TARDIS. That'll be right. It's been out since like 2000, it's fine.
Yeah, but we're telling people, we're introducing people to
and then changes the timeline so that the Nazis won the war. Yeah, but that you've got to listen to it, it is good. Changes the timeline so the Nazis win the war. Now the Doctor fixes that, but she remembers when the other timeline was around. She's permanently trying to get it back to being that timeline, and she becomes his companion, but it gets a little bit muddled.
Bit of Doctor Who trivia for you. Colditz actually is the first Doctor Who appearance of David Tennant. He plays the Nazi guard in Colditz.
Yeah.
That was his first ever, because that came out before he was cast as the 10th Doctor.
Yeah. I'd forgotten that actually, he isn't that? He's one of the guards.
And it's his first foray into Doctor Who.
Yeah. But
so
either Colin Baker or Peter Davison, I would say, are probably the easiest two to start with.
If you would please, like, subscribe. Our Facebook is down in the link below, and if we get ourselves any more social media things, we'll pop them down there as well. If you'd like us to do a more in-depth talk about any of the timelines or series, I'm sure Jordan has probably listened to it and we'll talk about it. I'm still working my way through Colin Baker.
I have listened to a lot of Big Finish.
I borrowed a lot of Big Finish from Jordan.
I have no life. That is my life.
Anyway, thank you for watching.
Yes, thank you.
Please leave any questions in the bottom. We'll try
What are your favourite Big Finish audios?
Yeah, what Doctors will you be starting with if you're going to do so? And let us know what you think about Big Finish when you jump in. Thank you.
See you later.
Goodbye.